This is TWiT.
In classic antitrust theory, the way it works is a company becomes bigger and bigger, pushes out all the competition, and one way they do it is by undercutting the competition, selling below cost and so forth. Until the competition is gone, they control everything, and then they raise prices through the roof. I think this is exactly what's happening. Warner Brothers has announced that starting in 2021, I don't think it's going to end, but they're going to release all their new movies both on HBO Max and in theaters. They'll be on HBO Max for a period of a month. They gave the theater companies 1 hour notice of this, and distributors like AMC and Regal, who are this close to going bankrupt anyway, thanks to COVID-19, are freaked out. It is going to be a huge threat to the future of motion picture theaters.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's actually starting Christmas Day, right? Because it's with Wonder Woman
84.
And then going on, there'll be a 1 month window where those will be playing not just in theaters, but on HBO Max. And then after a month, it will go to, online sales and rental and Blu-rays
by the way,
whatever else.
Not for $20, free on HBO Max.
Yes, and by the way, if you get HBO with your cable company, you probably can get HBO Max for free. You just need to sign up.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people haven't.
If you're a movie theater, Jane, and you know that Wonder Woman 84 is going to be free for 1 month to HBO Max subscribers, what do you think that's going to do to your ticket sales?
Well, their ticket sales are already in the toilet.
Right, but this is all of 2021.
I know.
Look, anybody who thinks that we're going to be seeing, people broadly going back into movie theaters before a year from now, I think is nuts.
There's some hope that with the vaccine, people could be going back this summer. I think saying all 2021 is a big deal.
I think this summer is ambitious at best. I think we're going to see a very slow and measured rollout of a vaccine. And I think that this is actually probably the only way that HBO could make any of its money back. I understand that theaters are freaked out. There's a whole sidebar we could do on what AT&T has done to DC Comics. But, ultimately, at least for the movies, I don't see any other option. You're sitting on these things which are done. They're in the can. They're waiting to go. And there's not going to be butts in seats at theaters. It's insane. I don't know that I'd even go to a theater that a friend of mine rented out and there were, 15 seats per person. Like, I just don't know that kind of risk is worth it these days. And I think a lot of other people are making a similar calculation, especially with the massive spikes in COVID going on around the world right now. It's not just the U.S. It's everywhere is seeing a resurgence. And I would not go into a theater, bottom line.
So that's the excuse. I feel like really this is Warner Media jumping on that and saying, good, we could put these theaters out of business. AMC's CEO slammed their plan, saying they're going to lose, not AMC, Warner is going to lose a ton of money. This is the statement published by The Hollywood Reporter. Clearly, Warner Media intends to sacrifice a considerable portion of the profitability of its movie studio division and that of its production partners and filmmakers to subsidize its HBO Max startup. I would submit that's exactly what you do if you're a monopoly. You give up profit for a short term in the long term, hoping. And what better to be this was, by the way, one of the very first antitrust cases was in the movie companies which owned all the theaters were forced to divest the theaters because when you own the production and the distribution, there's no competition. And I think this is what Stanky is going for. I love saying that name. I think this is what Stanky is going for. AMC says, we will do all in our power to ensure that Warner does not do this at our expense. We will aggressively pursue economic terms that preserve our business. They said, we made a deal for Wonder Woman 1984 because, well, we knew the theaters wouldn't be reopening by Christmas. But this is all of 2021. Yeah. And this is not the deal we made.
Well, listen, I don't want to... I'm not a big fan of the movie theater chains either. I think that they have had their own little... they're not motivated and have not been motivated for a long time to actually have a good product because they had exclusivity in terms of these windows of time when they're only in theaters. And that may be coming to an end. I think people will still want to go to movie theaters in the long run, but I think that they're going to go for reasons that are not time exclusivity. They're going to be going because they want to be with an audience, because they want to see a big screen, because they want to get food with their movie and like have an experience. It's going to be different. And a lot of these movie theater chains that have theaters that are getting by on a terrible experience, and we've all been in those theaters because it was the only place that you could see the Marvel movie of the week. They're not going to be able to get away with that necessarily. That all said, I do believe, and Seth said it, the whole idea that even if people come back to the theaters over the summer, it's going to be at 40% or 20% or 50%. We don't know. It's not 100%. The big challenge is if you're Warner or Disney, you can't make a movie for $200 or $300 million for streaming. It doesn't. The economics don't work.
Mulan is the proof that was a terrible failure. It was $30 to watch it, and it just tanked. They made
the money's not there. People aren't going to pay like they do in the theater, so they're going to be motivated in the long run to have those big tent poles that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and there's some exclusivity, and they get them into theaters because otherwise, the alternative is those $300 million movies are going to not be made anymore, and instead, everything's going to be The Mandalorian. Everything's going to be a $100 million Marvel movie that goes directly to Disney Plus. And I think that while we will probably see more of that, I think there will still be a place for the big blockbuster that costs a fortune in the movie theater. But like how many of those theaters exist and whether, to your point, Leo, they're all studio owned and operated, or they're things that are more like, some of these special like restaurant movie theater chains that we see,
like Alamo or maybe
Alamo Draft House,
IMAX.
Exactly.
So it's something that
I wanted more of an experience. I want something different. I want something different. I have a nice enough. It's a tiny little projector screen, but I have a nice enough kind of theater in my home. We bought the little home theater movie seats. That's great for me. You can order them. They're
cool.
Great. They set them up.
Why wouldn't you want a nice couch? Why do you want to sit in a movie theater?
Because they have the little drink holder, and we have a little candy room, and so it's we're doing it for the movie. If you want the couch,
you're recreating
you do it upstairs. If you want the movie theater, you do the movie theater. But we deck it out. We have
I think that's part of the risk. Is that people are going to do what you're doing, which is they're going to build home theaters that are great.
Exactly. I want 4D cinema. I want IMAX. I want to, have live actors that we interact with, or have a full scale meal like
you
upper
want Smell-O-Rama.
class. Like, I want, I would.
It's got to be something.
Totally. I want something more than that.
Alamo Draft House, where they bring you a beer and your food selection while you're sitting with your friends in a packed theater, all reacting to an exciting movie, is a great. That's not going to go away. But the lousy shoebox,
but the little
ones
are gonna have to adapt or die, right? Which I don't want any company to go under. But if it's not, it hasn't changed with the time. The dinosaurs slowly become extinct and we move for it. But the sad part is I'm not getting this. I'm not going to get to watch this. This is not coming out in Canada. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy Wonder Woman.